program.
What you talking about?
The program. The program. Get with the program.
Everybody clap to this. Say what?
Get with the program.
It starts now.
Hello and welcome to Get With The Program Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Jones. Get With The Program Radio Show is a multicultural, informative, relevant, and entertaining 1 hour weekly show offering you a combination of diverse interviews with questions and comments. And as always, we will act as a positive source of information. Now listen, if you want to be a guest on the show, all you got to do is log into www.getwiththeprogram.biz. Shoot me an email, leave me a message. You never know that you may have a conversation that we would love to talk about. Or you can give me a call at 919-255-2757. Again, 919-255-2757. You just like I said, you never know, you may have a conversation that we would love to talk about. Now listen, today we're going to have a conversation with several students in the North Carolina area who we're going to find out from their opinions what they feel about social distance learning, pretty much how it's working for them. We want to hear their story. We hear a lot of stories from the news, we hear a lot of stories from the teachers, different people inside the educational community, but we want to hear from the students, find out exactly what their take is. So today, my first student is going to be Mr. Cartier Stuckey. Mr. Cartier Stuckey is going to be joined with me today in conversation. Cartier Stuckey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, once again, Cartier, you are in a school here in Raleigh, North Carolina, right?
Yeah, Southeast Raleigh.
Southeast Raleigh, okay, wonderful school. I heard a lot about Southeast Raleigh. Actually, I'm familiar with the school. And your age now?
16.
16 years old. Okay, wow. And what grade you in now?
11th grade.
11th grade. So you're about to get out of school, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Wonderful, man. So I'm proud of you, man. So what are your plans when you finish school? What do you want to do?
I want to go to college, preferably A&T.
A&T?
That's
Okay.
my dream school right now.
What you want to major in?
I want to major in health, like anatomy or biology, to be a surgeon.
Oh, man, really? Wow, man, that's good. Be a surgeon. Okay. Wow, you got big dreams, and that's good. Dreams come true. Of course, you put the application to it, you apply yourself, it can happen, man. So with the, basically right now, what we're going to talk about a lot today is, Cartier, is that the social distancing learning right now, basically, how do you feel about the overall social distant learning?
It makes it more stressful on the students. It's more like, sometimes it feels like we're getting more work, and it piles up on us. And then towards the end of the week, we have a million assignments we have to get done before Monday, or our grades drop. And it's harder because we don't have that connection with the teachers anymore, because we never get to see them. We never get to talk to them after school or meet up with them one-on-one to talk about our grades. It makes stuff harder for us to keep our grades up and do what we want to do.
Do you feel that you have access to the proper devices?
I feel I do, but I don't think everyone does.
Okay. You do have your laptop and your online system. Do you ever have any breakdown problems with your online? I mean, does it go down sometimes?
Occasionally, it depends on like weather, but my internet is pretty good.
What device do you use right now for your laptop? You have a laptop? I mean,
Yeah,
what do
I
you
use a MacBook, a Chromebook.
Okay. Was that provided by you or by the school system?
It was provided by the school, but I have one of my own too.
Okay. So, do you think that this device works pretty good for you?
Yeah, it works pretty fine.
Wonderful. So how much time do you pretty much spend on an average day with your education? How much time do you spend? Because we know when students go to school, a lot of times students go to school from 8 in the morning and they're there to 3. So pretty much now, how much time do you spend?
Our school really starts, well, it used to start at 8 to 2, but I think they're doing like an hour each class. So probably 5 hours a day for mandatory school, and then I do an extra 3 for myself to catch up on work.
How effective has this remote learning been for you?
I bring my grades up somewhat. I can keep them as high as they were and even bring some higher than they were and keep A's and B's, but it does stress me out a little bit to try to keep A's and B's and stay on honor roll.
Now, has the school been helpful in offering you resources to learn from home? Had the school been real helpful with that?
My school has been pretty helpful. We even get to call the office sometimes during homeroom and talk to the principal about problems we're having with work.
So you get a good response from the school pretty much. Well, that's wonderful. Now, if this online learning were to continue throughout your next year until you graduate from school, even into college, do you think you'll be able to handle that?
No, I don't think I would.
Why not?
I was hoping it would be over towards the end of this year, probably August next year.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to enjoy my senior year doing all the senior year things, like going to prom, getting caps and gowns, walking across the stage with everybody there.
That's what I hear. I hear a lot of students really want to have that cap and gown, graduating, walking. Well, you know, the thing about it is with the age of technology, with the way things go now, distance learning, I mean, it's perhaps at some point it could be permanent, you know. We just never know. Now, how stressful has distant learning been for you during the COVID pandemic with the COVID? But you know that COVID is here, and you perhaps thinking about wanting to go back to the classroom. With that stress right there, just thinking about going back into that, how stressful has COVID been with you?
Well, COVID hasn't been really stressful because I go to work almost every day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I work at Walmart, so I'm around sometimes even 100 different people a day. So COVID is always like a risk factor. So I frequently get checked and check my temperature every day. So going back to school, I know like a lot of procedures to avoid getting sick. So I think certain people would be fine in school, but a lot of other people, they don't know like how much of a risk factor it really is to be around a lot of people during this time. So you have to brief them on how to handle themselves in school during the pandemic.
Now, with that being said, what do you think could be done to make this online learning better? What would you think could be done?
I think we might just need, I would say, more teachers to help. We need more teachers that aren't just teaching, but also trying to help people understand through online. Because a lot of classes, like language classes, I take Japanese, it's very hard to understand what she's trying to get to me online. Because in class, she would tell stories, she would write it out, she would even come over to your desk and help you out. Online, she can't do any of that. So if you ask a question, she can try to explain to the best of her knowledge through the computer, but sometimes you can't resonate.
Do you think that the online learning? What about your friends? Do you miss your friends as well?
I do miss most of my friends, but some of them live in my neighborhood, like really close to me. One of them even lives right down the street. So most of my friends I see almost every other day, and some of them even work with me. So, but a lot of school friends, people that I can only see at school because they live so far away. I do miss my friends, miss talking to them. FaceTime's not the same. Wonderful,
wonderful. Now, if the future stays the way it is, because COVID, they're really now trying to get a handle on it with the vaccine. What would be some suggestions that you would have from yourself for remote learning? If you had to do this, if you had to continue this, what do you see right now, basically, that you're doing that you would want to change?
Well, what I was going to start this year for this semester is to get more of a system, because with the system I had last semester, it just was a pile of work for what we call asynchronous days, the days you don't have to go to class. So on that Wednesday or that Friday, I have like 80 assignments to do for that day until I go to work. It used to work, and I used to get it done, but now I still have 4 assignments to do before Monday. So it started to not work towards the holidays. So around breaks, that system doesn't work. So I got to get more of a system so I can get my work done the day of. So when I get my asynchronous day, I can just go to sleep, relax.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, basically, in your opinion, you would much rather be in the classroom than the online learning.
Of course.
Okay, wow. Good answer, man. I really appreciate that. Once again, to my listeners, today on Get With The Program radio show, I'm joined right now with student number 1, Mr. Cartier Stuckey. He's a student at Southeast Raleigh in 11th grade, and his plans is to go to A&T State University. I get pride. Yeah. And what the major you said you wanted to be again, what was it?
Anatomy or biology.
Wow, man, that's big. That's big, man. I wish you the best. Anything you'd like to tell the students about online learning?
Just stay ahead of your work and don't let it pile up. Once it piles up, it's very hard to get back from it.
Wonderful. Cartier, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, man. And I wish you the best. And right now, like I said before, we're in the studio today with Gary Jones and Mr. Cartier Stuckey. It's one of the students that I have in the conversation today. But right now, we're going to take a break. Listen, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this. Hello and welcome back to Get With The Program radio show. Again, I'm your host, Gary Jones. Today, we're having a conversation with students, who are in high school and junior high school, who are telling us what their concerns are with the online distant learning. And I really had a good conversation with our first student, with Mr. Cartier Stuckey. Now we're joined with Mr. Tyson Bizzell. Tyson Bizzell, welcome to the show, sir.
Hello.
Okay, wonderful, Tyson. And Tyson, so the school you go to right now, what school you go to now?
Southeast Raleigh High School.
South. So we got a lot of Southeast Raleigh High School people here today. Okay. And how old are you?
14.
14 years old. And you in what grade?
Ninth grade.
So Tyson, tell me, what do you want to do when you finish school here?
I want to go to college, and the dream job I want to do is be a YouTuber. So, and make a lot of videos, and with my best friend, because me and him already have a YouTube channel. We just gotta put it out and vlog and stuff.
Wonderful. So you're interested in that social media? Wow. You doing it right now?
Yeah, kind of. We're trying to figure it out. We're making it right now.
Okay. All right. So since you're my second student here, so what do you feel, your overall feel about distant learning?
I mean, I don't mind it at all. It's really easy because you just get the work, you do it, and then if you don't have any work to do, you can just sit in the house and just go get a snack real quick and then go back to your next class.
So okay. So you're okay with it? Okay. All right. So would you rather have that than being in the classroom?
No, not really, because then it's on the teacher, because they won't be able to get to every person at the same time because you're on virtual. So and if you try to raise your hand or just text them, hello, I need help, they won't respond like fast like in normal school. So I really wouldn't say that. I would want to go back just for that purpose only, but everything else I would stay in virtual.
Okay. Do you have proper access and the devices for online?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you have? A laptop? What do you have?
Laptop.
What kind?
It's a Levino.
Okay, Levino. Okay. It works pretty good for you?
Yes.
Okay, great. So how much time would you say that you spend each day on average with your online program?
Like each class, now it's 55 minutes for each class. So by the time I'm done with school, it's going to be around 12:55.
Okay.
So about 5 hours maybe.
So that works for you pretty good? Once again, to my listeners, if you just joined in the conversation today, we're having a conversation with several students here who are giving us their opinion for online learning, which is really what's going on right now today. And right now, currently, we're in conversation with Mr. Tyson Bizzell. Mr. Tyson Bizzell, Southeast Raleigh High School student, age 14, ninth grade. And this young man telling me already that when he finished school, he wants to go right into a social media platforms to raise attention and awareness. I mean, you ready to roll with this, right? Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Now, how effective do you think remote learning has been for you?
I mean, really well, because I have a bunch of better grades than me just going to school, because I'm more organized, because I don't have to be in a locker, have all my stuff in there. And usually when I have a locker, it just gets messy and you can't find anything in there until I clean it up. So I have folders in virtual learning, so I can just click on the folder and then click on any work I have, and yeah, I can just turn it in.
Wonderful. Are you really able to give full attention more at home than in the classroom? Wow, that's good. So basically what I'm hearing, the future of online learning for you is working. Okay, wonderful. How helpful have your school been in offering you resources to learn from home? How helpful have they been?
Very helpful. They give us our math books that we need, and if we didn't get them on the first day, we can just keep on going back to the school to get them. And they will send out emails to say, if you want to join this club, just sign up, and then they'll just let you in, or they will give you a little test to see if you're actually worthy or prepared to go into the thing, and if you pass, then you're in for good.
So the response with the teachers are pretty accurate. When you respond to them, they get back with you. Wonderful, man. Have you? I forgot to ask this question earlier. Have you had a chance to experience anyone that the online learning is not working for?
No, not really.
Wonderful. So this is working for students. Okay. How stressful is distant learning for you during the COVID pandemic? Because we know COVID is a lot of reasons why people are working from home. Do you feel that if you had to go back to the schools, you think the pandemic would play a role on you as far as learning?
I mean, I really wouldn't know, because if everyone has their mask on, then I've been fine. But if someone doesn't have a mask and I got to work with them, you already know I'm not working with them. Or I'm trying to be by myself like a lone wolf. So I'll be that one.
So based on what I'm hearing, you would definitely have your guard up to make sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, what do you think could be done better with the online learning right now? What would you, if you saw some things that you felt like that were not done right, what would you do better?
Okay, so for every morning, we have morning announcements, but they take forever to come on. And then once they do, it just starts to buffer and everything. So I would say at least get on and get ready before, because we start at 8:05, but it takes the announcement so long to just go. So I'd say get on at like 8:03, then be on at 8:04 and just say everything you got to say, and then end at 8:05 so we can be ready and make sure nothing buffers and stuff.
Okay, so you're saying pretty much preparation, being more prepared early so the classroom can get started because you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, just say for instance here, if online learning continues to be a thing of the future completely, if say for instance, if this was it, how would you handle this for the future? Would this be okay with you even while you're in college?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, and if it was like this, I mean, if we could go into the school like a little bit, like for an hour or two, I would do that as well. But if we couldn't just go at all, then yeah, I would have been fine with that, because then I might be last, and then once I finally get the teacher to help me, it's time to go to their other class. So I wouldn't really like that.
Okay, so you kind of would want to have a little bit of both, perhaps. Okay, wonderful. Now, how helpful have the students been with you studying online? I mean, are they real helpful with you?
They're really helpful. I have friends that help me a lot.
Wow, that's good. That's really good. So now, once again, today in conversation right now with Mr. Tyson Bizzell. So Tyson, you said you want to go to college and be in social media. What exactly again you want to do with that?
Be a YouTuber.
Okay, explain that to me.
What I want to do on YouTube is like do a gaming channel with my best friend, because me and him like to game a lot. We do Roblox and other things like Minecraft. So we're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, and it's with gaming, and we just do a bunch of other games on each thing, and then whatever likes we get is, because we always do a goal. We just say how many likes is how many videos we might do. So if it's like 5 likes, we will do 5 videos, something like that.
That's wonderful, man. And you're in the 9th grade and you have that imagination already. So, wow. And you already playing with these type of ideas already? Oh, man, that is incredible. Now, one last question. What would you like to see change for the future? Because right now you're talking about social media. You're talking about games and building platforms and games. Right now, if you could see the future, what would you like to see change with online learning?
The fact that everything's really slow. I want to see it be faster and more prepared, and actually the teachers getting to everyone before the class is over, and making sure that before they say I'm gonna do something else, at least get everyone that needed help, and then do what they needed, like grading and stuff, because there's kids that need help and then they just start going to grading, and they just never get to them until they say something in the chat, because every time you say something in the chat box, it will ding, so they will hear that and then look. But instead, I want to see it like they just make sure they got everyone, so they go to a different meet, get everyone, then come back and get everyone, like that.
So what I'm hearing is sort of the teachers need to be more prepared, and do you think the teachers are IT savvy?
I mean, I don't really know. They just need to be a little faster.
Be a little bit faster. I understand. So last question. What would you like to say to other students who are in the online system as far as giving them some encouragement?
That it's not hard to do, and it's really easy. Just get your work done, then turn it in, and then just do whatever you want to do until the end of the class.
Wonderful. Mr. Tyson Bizzell, once again, thank you for joining me and Get With The Program Radio Show. It's been a wonderful conversation. Once again, Tyson, Southeast Raleigh High School student, age 14, 9th grade. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. All right, look forward. Good luck with school, man. Once again, listen, you listen to Get With The Program Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Jones. Listen, we're going to take another break. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this. But now, before we take that break right now, I want to reach out to our political analyst, Steve Rao. Steve Rao, what's going on in your world?
Well, Gary, it's great to be here today. And it's just a crazy week in America as voters of President Donald Trump stormed the halls of Congress this stuff a largely symbolic proceeding to formalize President-elect Joe Biden's electoral college victory. This brought unprecedented uncertainty to the nation's bedrock commitment to peaceful transfer of power, and is the first time the United States Congress was seized by insurrection since the War of 1812. This is also leading up to the U.S. Senate now taken over by the Democrats, as Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff have beaten the incumbent. So President Joe Biden will be sworn in on January 20th. It is a scary time out there in the midst of COVID-19, with over 2,000 Americans dying a day from this virus. We just got to pray for American democracy so we can send a message to the world that America is strong and that the nation of the government, by the people, and for the people, as President Lincoln once reminded us in a divided time in our nation's history, shall never perish from the earth. That's all I have for today, but it's been a crazy time in America, Terry.
All right, Steve Rao, thank you so much, man. Till next time, take care. Looking forward to next week. Now I want to reach out to my good friend, comedian Grave Digger, man. What are you dealing with right now? What you dealing with? You always dealing with something. What's the deal, Grave? What's the deal?
I got some stuff going on right now. I mean, everybody wearing masks. That's the thing killing me. Everybody wearing masks. Now, it's a good thing that a lot of y'all, and you know some of your friends are wearing masks, and you glad of it, and it got nothing to do with COVID, because they had bad breath. I mean, bad breath. Now, I'm going to be able to tell you right now, I'm telling you right now, how you know your breath stink. If you got on a mask and you walk up to one of your friends and he offer you another one while you got one on, you know your breath stink. But I'm going to tell you right now, they got masks now. I'm coming out myself. I'm going to make $1 million in one day. I'm coming out with scented masks. I'm going to tell you right now, all scents on the outside. I don't care about the COVID. I just want to keep your breath out of my nose. But, hey, like I said, Garrett, this is 2021. I'm bringing them to it. I'm bringing them to it hard. Love you. Y'all keep listening to my man, Gary. Peace.
Hello and welcome back to Get With The Program Radio Show. Again, I am your host, Gary Jones. Now, Get With The Program Radio Show is a multicultural, informative, relevant, entertaining, 1 hour weekly show. Offer you a combination of diverse interviews with questions and comments. Now, listen, today we are having a wonderful conversation with some real live students, man. We're bringing students in from the Southeast Raleigh, North Carolina area, the school there, and they're giving us their opinions about the online program, because it's always good to hear from the teachers. It's good to hear from the Board of Education. It's good to hear from adults. But when you actually hear from the students themselves, it gives a whole different perspective, of different opinions, and I always like to hear it from the source. And right now, we've already had a conversation with Mr. Cartier Stuckey, and we had a conversation with Mr. Tyson Bizzle, and now we're in a conversation now with Mr. Chance Stuckey. Okay, Mr. Chance Stuckey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Now, Mr. Chance, now you are a student at what school now?
Southeast Raleigh.
Southeast Raleigh as well, and your age?
I'm 15.
15, and the grade?
I'm in 10th grade.
Okay, wonderful, man. So, wow. So, when you finish school, what do you want to do?
I wanted to join the Marines or just go to the academy for a police officer.
Okay, wonderful. You want to be a police officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what inspired that?
Well, I just like doing it. You know, I just like helping people in general.
Okay, wonderful, man. Hey, we always need people to help people all the time. Wonderful. So we're gonna get right into this here, Mr. Chance. With online learning, how do you feel about the online learning right now?
It's nice that like do it online, but like I like to be around my friends when I'm doing work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you feel like being around your friends, it helps to influence your learning. It helps you a little more.
Yes, sir.
So why do you say being able to ask them questions and kind of blending in? So you miss your friends.
Yeah, pretty much, mostly.
Okay, all right. So do you have the proper devices for online learning at home?
Yes, sir. They gave us the devices.
So the school did pretty good in giving you what you need, your resources.
Sir.
What kind of computer you have?
It's a Chromebook.
Okay. And it works pretty good?
Yes, sir.
You like it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. And it works pretty good. You have the internet access, speed and everything is working good?
It works very well.
Oh, wonderful. So how much time do you spend a day on average with your classroom?
An average is normally like an hour per class, and then I just do work after classes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. So you kind of really staying close on top of this thing. Oh, that's good stuff. How effective have this remote learning been for you? How effective? I mean, is it really, really working for you?
I would say it is kind of working for me, but I like to see my teacher like better, like in person. Mm-hmm. So I like to see her like right on the board.
Oh, I got you. You kind of more like want to be in the classroom. You want to sit on the board. So basically, what I'm hearing is students have different methods of learning. Because some say they like the online, some say they more like to be in the classroom, and you are one of the ones who prefer to be in the classroom.
Yes, sir.
I understand. So, how helpful have your school has been in offering you resources? Have your school been helpful?
Yeah, they have. They changed the schedule for us to actually have time to do work after school.
That's good. So they're pretty much definitely being positive moving forward with you, making sure you have everything you need.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. That's wonderful, man. So let me say this now. Just say, for instance, if perhaps online learning is the thing of the future, and this is it. I mean, say, for instance, the pandemic goes away, but at some point in life, online learning becomes a thing of the future, and you are now in the 10th grade. Say for now, how would you be able to handle the online programs? Would you be able to handle this if this was permanent?
I think I would handle it very well because I think I'm getting very used to it now.
Wow. So when you first started, it was kind of tough?
Yeah, it was kind of tough. I wasn't getting the hang of it, and it was just like,
Do you think the teachers are savvy enough? Are the teachers pretty much experienced with the software and the programs as well?
I think so. They're learning like us, so I mean, it helps if we help them out too.
How helpful are your teachers with you with your studying online? Are they real helpful?
Yeah, they're very helpful. Like after classes, you can come during lunch or come after school to get like tutoring sessions.
That's wonderful. Because tutoring sometimes that is very, 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 very helpful for some students, and I think it's helpful for all students. Because even when I was in school, I always loved to have a tutor because you can easily fall behind, and also tutoring help to keep you abreast on what's coming in the future. Now, what you think could be done better with the online system? Like you said, you'd rather have the classroom and more so than being at home on the online system. What do you think, in your words, that they could do much better to make it easier to learn?
I would say, like changing it up now and then, like make us do something like, because some kids, they don't like to stay on the classes the whole time. So like spice it up, make it a little bit more fun.
And you mean, and like, what example would you do that?
Like a lot of kids like Kahoot, so like maybe do a Kahoot, do like fun games for them.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So pretty much make it exciting. So and what I'm hearing, maybe a little bored sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you're at home learning, do you feel that being at home is you give more attention at home, or you can give more attention in the classroom?
I can get more attention in the classroom because like I'm there in front of the teacher and I can just raise my hand instead of having to talk over like 5 other people at one time.
Okay, I see. Okay, now what would be your for the future? Let's say, for instance, I know I did ask this. I want to ask this in a different way for the future of education. If there was something that you could change about the platform of learning, let's say perhaps if you wanted to have all of the classes, or is it enough students online at the same time? What would be some suggestions that you would like to see changed?
Probably less the amount of students in some classes, and open the doors for like new advanced classes for different people. Okay,
so you're saying more participation? You think the teachers are prepared in the morning when they first get online? Are they prepared?
Yes, they are. It's just the students that don't come in.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is sometimes it's mostly the students' participation versus the teacher, but the teachers are definitely on point.
Teachers are on point.
Okay, wonderful. So with that being said, and you want to be a police officer. Wow, that's good, man. Wow. So you want to make sure people are safe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long you been thinking about this?
Well, since my favorite show when I was 10 was Flashpoint.
Okay.
And it's been ever since. I like to watch cop shows like Law and Order and stuff like that.
That's wonderful, man. So wow. Hey, at least I know when you make it to that point and I get to know you, it'd be good to know a police officer. It'd be good. So right now, in your words, what would you like to say to other students who are in the online program now, or even coming into that? What would you like to say to them?
I would just say, like, take your time doing your work. It's not a race, because then if you fail, it's like you're gonna have to do it again anyways.
You think it's hard?
It's sometimes hard because you get overwhelmed with like 8 different assignments in one class, and then you have to do it again.
Okay, now because I know I did hear one of the students tell me that a good thing to do is to keep up, because sometimes a lot of work could pile in on you. So you got to keep up with it.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
Wow, man, that's wonderful, man. Wonderful. So listen, once again, you listen to Get With The Program radio show. I'm your host, Gary Jones. Today we're joining conversation with Mr. Chance Stuckey. Mr. Stuckey is a student at Southeast Raleigh High School, age 15, 10th grade, and he wants to be a police officer, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thanks again. Once again, you listen to Get With The Program radio show. I'm your host, Gary Jones. Listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to hear more about this online system, and we're going to be joined with the person who brought these students to me today in a conversation. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this. Hey, look, right now, man, we're going to get on deck with Ursta Camille. Ursta Camille, what's the topic for today?
Today's topic, outlive the lie. To outlive a lie is to outlive the deception or untruth told about you to others. One thing is to make sure we don't become what they're saying. To outlive the lie is to keep being the true you until eventually the lie dies and you are still here walking in the truth. Proverbs 25:18 says, "A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul and a sword and a sharp arrow." Here is a clear description of a liar. A maul, which is a large wooden hammer, or war club, a sword, and a sharp arrow. These are all weapons of destruction. So a liar is only a weapon of destruction. If we can see a liar for who and what they are, then it makes it easier to rise above and not get pulled down to their level in a self-defensive war. I encourage you to continue to walk in truth and outlive the lie.
Hello, welcome back to Get With The Program radio show. I'm your host, Gary Jones. Today we're joining a conversation with some students, man. It was no better way to get students live in real conversation with the students so they can tell you exactly how they feel, the conversation that they're having, what their experiences are with the online program. It's been a great conversation today. I had Mr. Cartier Stuckey, Mr. Tyson Bizzle, and Mr. Chance Stuckey. And now Cartier, these students here, Cartier, Tyson, and Chance, man, these students are students at Southeast Raleigh High School, and they have wonderful plans for their future. Good conversation. They gave us good information. But now, none of this could have been possible to have these students today without bringing a person on the show with me that made this possible, Mr. Troy Johnson. Troy Johnson is the CEO, the founder, the man who makes it happen for an organization called Young Men for Christ. It is a pleasure. Mr. Troy, welcome, sir. Thank you so much.
What's going on, Gary? Always a pleasure to be here, man. Happy New Year to you and all your listeners, man. Just glad to be on the line, brother.
Troy, I've been following you for a while. You've been on this show several times with me, and I've been following you for a while, man. You are doing a remarkable job in the community.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. God gets all the glory. His glory, my story.
And Troy, so what are you working on now? I know you're working on something, because and another thing, how has this how has this pandemic and the online learning worked for you and your students?
Yeah, we know the pandemic and this new way of living, if you may, has been a hit for many, Gary. Our children, nonetheless, remember, you've heard this story before where boo-boo rolls downhill. So the same discrepancies, the same energy, the same chaos that's going on us as adults is a trickle-down effect. Mm-hmm. And what I can say, man, we can always talk about all the negatives, but I choose to stay in that space of positive. One thing that the pandemic has really helped me personally is to leave regret and take the limits off of what's available in my creativity. Most use the word pivot, Gary, but I like the P word, just not that one. I think it's overused. I think it comes down to position and priorities. Mm-hmm. And what we've done is put ourselves in a position where we can use tools such as this and virtual video chats and different forums and apps mm-hmm. to be able to communicate with the kids. If you think about it, I know we kind of before the pandemic was like, hey, they're always on their phones. Well, that's no longer an option, but a priority now. And we had to find a way to get information out to them, make sure it's effective, and make sure that it resonates with them to help them grow. So with that, we were able to position ourselves and make virtual chats and apps a priority to align with the betterment of the social and emotional learning of our children. And we've done that through our 12-week virtual mentoring program, where we've created 4 parts to that. Mm-hmm. But as far as the kids are concerned, what they miss the most is basically what we miss the most. Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm a very, I'm a very social person.
Yes.
So I like being around people. It's a vibe for me. It's an energy thing, and that transfer of energy and really being able to walk into a room and illuminate it. And I do miss that, and so do they. So I'm pleased to say that as we went through the last 9 months, we started doing a golf development program, which now gave a little piece of normal back to the children by using golf as a tool with a partnership with Drive Shack and local fraternities such as the Omegas to facilitate the golf development and align that with character development over a meal once a month. And the kids have really taken to that. Outside of that, we look to use football next, partnering with other organizations called First and Goal. Mr. Ken Blocker, he used to be the head coach at Enloe and very good friend of mine. So I truly believe, and I've said this over and over and over and over again, Gary, that the best is definitely yet to come.
That's wonderful. So basically, do you think that before the pandemic had come along, you think a lot of people were in a relaxed mode, and now that the pandemic has come about, that now people are beginning to realize and dig more into their resources and seeing the actual strength that they have now?
That's good, man. We've talked about this over and over again in my leadership circle, as well as a few of my mentors. And I've said before, Gary, that with comfortability comes complacency. And I believe a lot of us, and again, I'm speaking from personal experience, where we get used to doing the same thing over and over again. We're creatures of habit. And when those habits are in this particular case of pandemic, are not changed, but dismantled, where everything that we used to do and the ways that we used to do things becomes different, and we didn't ask for it. Right. It just came out of nowhere. It forces you to dig deep into the most creative parts of you. And that's really what it takes. That tenacity and that creativity, the pandemic, for those that traveled in that space, it strengthened them even the more. And I'm thankful. You know, I'm really, honestly, I've once heard before, Gary, that God will expand your territory. But we never know how. Right. And who would have ever thought that something that would be looked at as catastrophic could catapult you into something even greater? And I believe that not just for myself, but many, especially those that live in a creative space, that's what the pandemic has done for them.
So with that being said, how do you feel about the overall process of distant learning? How do you feel about that? Do you think it's really working, and even for the future?
What's your definition of working, right?
Students getting properly educated and doing their work, per se, versus being in the classroom.
And let's be honest. Let's be really honest.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. Let's keep it funky.
Okay.
Before the pandemic,
right,
there was a gap. The gap has deepened and even widened since then. I don't know the exact numbers, but I remember my ear being to the street a couple months back and sitting in on some of the meetings by educational staff, and there was, I believe, over 6,000 kids, Gary, that haven't even logged in. And it's for many reasons, brother. Whether that be from lack of resources, lack of tools, or lack of effort, or lack of support. There's many different facets. You got to realize that school was a sanctuary to a lot of these kids. They were sheltered, they were loved, and they were fed. And when that resource for those three things, and there's many more, Gary, were taken away, now home became the classroom. And honestly, there's a lot of different layers to a lot of kids' home. We all deal with different devils on different levels. And that's really the challenge. In a world of education, we have this thing called the Leandro case. And obviously this is a case that's been around for over 25 years. It just has, this time last year, they rolled out the red carpet, if you may, to say how we were going to move forward. Then the pandemic hit. So a lot of those things that were in this case that speaks about a fair education for all kids, brown, black, those that are disenfranchised, language learners, those that are in rural areas can still have the same opportunities as everyone else. And we know that that's not happening. So it's our job as educators, it's our job as mentors, it's our job as change agents, it's our jobs as the salt and the light of the earth.
Right.
To be able to give back to these kids in a way that their social emotional learning can be paired with their educational needs.
If online learning were to be permanent right now, if it next year or so it began to be something permanent, do you think we're prepared for that? And then after that, I want you to tell us a little bit about Young Men for Christ.
Man, prepared? I don't know. I think that, again, the gap is still there. Again, this was something that hit so hard and we weren't prepared for in the first place. So I think that we'll catch up eventually, but there's always going to be a learning curve. And we know that with any learning curve, there's individuals that fall beneath it. Children are my burden. It's my cross to bear. So I'm always going to always believe that there's no throwaway children. We truly have to prepare them and get them ready. So that's who I fight for. That's who I work for through YM4C. You know, as YM4C does stand for Young Men for Christ, we use life skills, character-based education, and physical activity to spark creative mindsets in young people. And in that, we have 4 cornerstones. First one goes without saying, it's love, consistency, opportunity, and exposure. And we truly believe with those 4 cornerstones, we can recreate mindsets and get our children to a place where they see their worth and their value. And I truly believe that that starts there. This will become a new normal, Gary, where 2020 will fade away. Remember, we're creatures of habit. If we're forced to do the same thing over and over, we are very, very powerful. You know, we have strength, and consistency will eventually come forth. So I think it will take time, but eventually I do know that virtual learning will be a benefit to a lot, and many. It'll allow those to, really focus and grow in those strengths that they have. Just being mindful of those that it doesn't work for and making sure that we can prepare for them as well.
Wonderful. Mr. Troy Johnson, as always, thank you so much. Now, your website, people want to get in contact with your organization?
Sure. You can call us at 919-714-9905, or our website is www.ym4c.org. And again, my name is Troy Johnson.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. As I said before, we had a wonderful conversation today with students who came in and gave their opinions, their conversations, their look at how the online program has been influencing them. And this was brought to you possibly by Mr. Troy Johnson. Mr. Troy Johnson provided the students today. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Appreciate you.
Once again, you listen to Get With The Program radio show. I'm your host, Gary Jones. As I always say, stay positive, keep your head up, and remember to
Get with the program.
What you talking about?
The program. The program. Get with the program.
Everybody clap to this. Say what?
Get with the program.
It starts now.